What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Mash and Drum Whiskey Wednesday night. We got a big night tonight. Not only do we have some hitter pours, but we have Blendageddon Round 2 Frankenblends happening tonight. So cannot wait to get it going. What's going on, everybody? Got a bunch of people already waiting in the chat. 130 already popping in with more on the way. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Been a busy week, filming a lot of content with all these whiskey releases coming out in the fall time. It's crazy. So, but yeah, I'm here for it, and we're gonna have a good time here. Big, really big night. Is it big? It's really big. What's going on? Let's say hi to some couple people in the chat here. We have Wanting Magoo is here. He said he'll be back later. I think he's back already. Nathan Jurgensen is here. 96 Milli Man, can you reveal a Willard Purple Top? You know what? When I crack open that 10-year, I'll review it. See if I like that one. Anyone tried the Luxro 4-grain? Can't say I've had that one yet. Wesley Hughes in the house. What's going on, Wes? Russ L is here. Adam Hinson. What's going on, buddy? Jeffrey Jankovic is here. Bose Wine Guy. Mr. Jiggs. KCD in the house. We got Liddy Casanova. Joe the Sample Guy in the house. Let's see here. John Ferrin. Peter White from Canada. What's going on, Canada? How you doing, Peter? Nice to see you, man. Tim Cornet is here. Sandeep Chima. Whiskey Juice. I'm here for the bourbon, as we all are. Jeff Perkins is here. Roscoe P. Coltrane. Tim Romero. James Lay is here. What's up, peeps? How you doing, man? JG. What's up, Whiskey Cheers? Hey, William Kavanaugh's here. What's going on, buddy? Nice to see you. Of course, we got Shona Marie D. She's in the house tonight. We got Honest Charlie is here. Jonathan Edie is here. Ben Drammond. Giselle's Boston. Saucy Shane. I think he's got a. I think he's got an entry tonight, if I remember correctly. That's right. Cheese 1022 is here. Got that Russell K. Nelson up today. It is amazing. No joke. I told you, man. It is no joke. Adam Dorman is here. Very, very cool to see you, buddy. Big Rigged in the house. What's up, Big Vic? Nice to see you, man. 4-Leaf Whiskey, Carter Grishabar, and a bunch more people coming in that I need to catch up to. I see Lance. I see Tora Pody. I see James R. Valentovich. A lot of people here coming in. I already have 176, and it is climbing. So, yeah, so tonight, I thought for the first hour, we'd go through some news stories. We could crack open some new whiskeys that I just got, including, I want to thank my buddy Adam for sending me the new Stagg 23A. Have not had this one yet, so looking forward to this one. Yeah, 23A. Says it right there. So we'll try that one. We also have the Larceny C923. We got the 2 new 4 gates that just dropped. We got the King of Kentucky. This is the first year that Brown Foreman sent me a sample of the King of Kentucky, and it's the oldest one so far that we've seen. So King of Kentucky is here. This is a 16-year-old bourbon. Normally, I think they're about 14 years old, I think, ish. But they did release the 18-year-old last year, so I guess that was considered like a special edition, not really in the realm of like the regular King of Kentucky. So that's why still technically this is an oldest batch yet, I guess. I'm not sure. We'll read the press release here. And then, of course, we got 13th Colony, who was kind enough to send me a sample of their 2023 Double Oaked. I mean, everyone's already been going crazy about this bourbon, so we're going to try it here tonight. So, and then in the second hour, it is Blendageddon time. Round 2, we will have a special guest judge, and we'll go from here. So let's see here. JG with the first super chat. Jay, I sent you an email about MGP. Hope I did good for you. Whiskey cheers. Okay, about MGP. Color me intrigued. Thank you so much, man. I'll check it out. Boy, that Stagg 23 has a hard matchup tonight. Yeah, it might a little bit, Adam. Let's see. Happy Wednesday. Having my first early times tonight. Blue cap, not black, so I don't know what I'm missing, says Johnny Brennan. Well, as long as it has the 2 DSPs on the back of the bottle, Johnny, then basically that's just Barton bottling the old stuff. So the stuff that was already being created by Early Times. Now, If it's a singular DSP, then you're looking at them possibly just bottling their stuff on their own. So let's see here. It's time. Blendageddon baby, says Paul P. Oh, just a regular King of Kentucky, says Eric Sawyer. Yeah, that's what they make it sound like because it's just so available. Bourbon Jerk, definitely curious to see what your reaction to the 13th Double Oak. All right, well, let's get into it. What should be the first one we open here? I'm probably going to save the 13 Colony probably towards the end because usually is a pretty high proof. You know what? I do want to talk about this 4-gate, the Kelvin 60. I'm not sure if these are still available, but these did drop recently on Bourbon Outfitter and also Sealbox. Not sure if it's sold out yet, but you know, we got another super chat, guys. Lance, just because, cheers. Thanks, Lance, you the man. Appreciate it, man. Just did a review of the new Bernheim Barrel Proof Batch B923. Way better than the A. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about the A. I do hope it's better. 4-gate Kelvin 60 is amazing. Cheers, Jay. What's up? What's up, Tim Evans? Chris Jenkins is here now, too. So this is an 8-year source bourbon, a double oaked source bourbon. Now, the source bourbon in here is it's a bottle that I've wanted for a long time. I made a fake bottle version of this bottle, and that's basically what it is. I don't want to say exactly what it is, even though I think a lot of people know the source bourbon that is in this bottle. But 125.6 proof, and you're looking at a double oaked sourced 8-year product, and it's generally a bourbon that is not double oaked ever. We haven't seen it yet. I think Joey B knows what I'm talking about. If you want a clue, look at Joey B's comment. So, again, the thing with 4-gate, guys, I mean, these are $200 bottles. Unfortunately, they're high price, but it's like, what freaking bottle isn't like $150, $200? Besides Early Times Bottle and Bond and a couple of other good ones that are on the shelf, but I get it. But this now, my take on 4-gate is go all in on the Kelvin collaborations. Those are going to be kind of the can't miss ones. And then really try before you buy all the other ones in between, because you just never know. Some of them can be really good. Some of them are kind of mediocre. And some of them are definitely not worth 200. This one, however, is one of those bourbons that falls on the outside of the realm of the Kelvin collaboration and is just, this thing's a banger. It really is. David Smith, I hope it sucks. I passed on the 60 saving for your pick. Well, David, I mean, I think our pick might be better than that one, to be honest. So it's really good. But on the nose, this carries a ton of carries a ton of spice, a ton of fruit, but these dark, rich flavors that I think you get from that double oaking process. We got Doug H in the house. Cheers, Jason. What's up, Doug H? Doug H, man, your pick is dropping Friday. I can't wait for people to get their hands on it. Master Journey Whiskey Club, we're dropping a JT Mellick single barrel. It's actually one of these bottles right here. Doug H was on the picking team because Scott and I couldn't make it, and they picked a banger, so we can't wait to bring it to the group. Hey, Christine Vasco's here. What's up, Christine? Nice to see you. Oh, man. Yeah, it's fruity. When I say fruity, it's more of like that floral and kind of stone fruit component that you get with this source whiskey. That should give you another clue. But it really kind of starts off and it kind of ramps up, and it's like you get all those fresh fruit flavors in the beginning on the nose, and then it gets a little bit darker and darker and darker. You really start to get the oak. You start to get like a lot of baking spice. Man, and it's got that floral component that really is a good reminder of what the base whiskey is. But cheers, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know what you're sipping in the chat. I feel like I feel like this is everything I thought it would have been when I was asking for this bottle to be created. It's got all the sweet, it's got all the spice. The finish on this, excuse me, the finish on this is what makes it. You get all this like beautiful double oak character, all that fresh fruit up front. Then it just goes all spice. Then it gets a little bit of like a sweet tobacco note. Little barrel char, maybe like a touch of smoke. This thing is so good and so layered that if you guys have never gotten to try a 4-gate yet, and you're maybe looking to catch, you know, your first one, this one might be a good one to grab. This is the Kelvin 60. I'll do a little bit of a close up here. I got this bottle on seal box, so I was glad I grabbed this one once I found out what it is. But this is just really, really good. Let's see what you guys are sipping right now. Drifting Dram says, Katie found a bowl of different Jack Daniels in Houston, so we're hitting it hard. For science. Ah, good job, Ethan. You know, I love when you and Katie get really scientific. It really just warms my heart for science. And then later, when you're trying to talk to each other because you just drank 10 Jack Daniels single barrels, and you're like, I love you, man. Hey, Pop No Watch Him is here too. He's the he was the leader in the clubhouse for our JT Melick pick. What's going on, man? Alex Priere is sipping on a Backbone pick. Very cool. Pursuit United Rye. Love that rye. Calumet 16. Wow. Where was there was no Calumet drop this year, huh? Didn't see one. I figured we see a Calumet 17, I guess, that the way they've been going. 14, 15, 16. Were we going to see a 17? They just decided to stop. I'm curious what happened with that one. Oh, let me turn that off. Let's see here. And there we go. Let's see here. Top Dog is here. Bill Mills is sipping Knob Creek 12 year. First bottle ever. Scored at the Total Wine. And we're also picked up EG. Oh, okay. I'm guessing that's... Oh, Booker's Mighty Fine Batch. That's a really good batch this year. I really enjoyed Mighty Fine Batch. Howdy, Jason. Do you or anyone here know when ECBP C923 will hit Texas? Love what you do. Thanks for the education. Mr. Mushnick, I wish I could tell you, dude. But if you watch my reviews, what do I always say about Elijah Craig barrel-proof batches and the availability? It's wonky. You just don't know what state gets what. When I was in New York, they were like 2 batches behind. You know, I saw B523s in some stores. I saw C9, what is it? C922s in other stores. They weren't even up to the A123 yet. So every single state seems to be different with Elijah Craig. And even here in Ohio, we used to get them like right on the dot, and now I feel like they come out a little bit later. Yeah, Kelvin 60 is yummy for sure. Sipping on Bardstown Original, Woodford Double Oaked, Penelope Toasted. Hey, Black Bourbon family in the house. What's going on? Jason and Brandy. Great to see you guys. K. Luke Batch 4. Ah, dude, Smoking Firewater. That's a good one, man. So now that we know 4-gate will make your request come true, can you get them to do the Woodford Double Oak cash strength? You know, that's actually an interesting request. Could do that. Hard Truth Rye, says Nicholas. Oh, very nice. Parker's 10-year rye here, says Keith Stepanski. Keith, how is that? Is it worth the hype? Is it worth the price that people are paying for that bottle? I'm just curious. Russell Store Pick. Keegan Burdoff, thanks to the Super Chat, says, going to sip on some Barrel King Batch 50, which was a September release. It's so good enough for my whiskey of the year. Yeah, man, Barrel King gets some barrels, dude. That did not surprise me. David Reachins is here. I have an opportunity to get either Stagg 22B or Batch 14 or both for slightly less than secondary. What do you recommend? That's a good question. I did enjoy 22B. Batch 14. I have to remember what Batch 14 tastes like. I feel like that was a good batch. But I mean, dude, anytime you can get Stagg both for less than secondary, I'd probably pull the trigger on it. Stagg, again, Stagg is always one of those few bottles from Buffalo Trace where I'm willing to pay for. Yep. Mark Vasco's in the house. What's up, Mark? Yeah, and Ohio has seen 2 waves of B523. Maybe some went out in September. Really? Yeah, I must have missed that one. Have not seen it yet. How is the 4-gate flagship split stave at Sealbox? Split stave to me, again, I know some people that really like it. I'm kind of hot and cold with it. I don't think it's great. I think it's good. I don't think it's a $200 bottle though. Yeah, you can get Starlight Double Oak going with some water. Yeah, I'm gonna need some water here. Maker Select pick. What's up, John Cloud? Nice to see you, man. All right, let's go into the second 4-gate bottle that I have here. I'm going to save a little bit of that for later. This is the 4-gate Triple Oak. I don't think this one has come out yet. This is a 7-year. Wow, that's a lot lighter. This is that's extremely light compared to the. This is the Triple Oak, and this is just the Double Oak. That's crazy. You would think a Triple Oak would be a lot darker. This is a 7-year. So what makes it Triple Oak? So it was aged in the original cask. Then it was finished in new charred and new toasted casks by Kelvin Cooperage. So then it went in another new barrel, and then it went in a toasted barrel. 7 years, 107.6 proof. So low proof on this one. Let's see what we got here. Keith Stepansky, he's chiming in about the, this is about the Parkers, guys. He says, it is a good rye, but does not remind me of a rye, if that makes sense. Very easy drinking. Not sure if it holds up at $222 from distillery, but very good. It is a Parkers. Okay. Modern Third Triple Oak starts out as light whiskey. Well, that makes a lot more sense. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Starts out as light whiskey. Okay. No wonder there's a barrel shortage. But yeah, guys, this Kelvin 60 is that's a stunner from 4-gate this year. It is really good. Let's try this Triple Oak one. Man, it starts out as a light whiskey. It actually comes off very nutty. So it gives me like a Jim Beam Booker's profile on this. I don't know if you get that, Bill, but it does. To me, it comes off a little bit like a Jim Beam profile. KC12 is a lot of KC12 here tonight. Well, since Bill is here watching, Bill, you already made one of my requests come true with the Dark Rose, which is my Double Oak 4 Roses. Can you make this one happen? Can you do a Woodford Double Oak cast strength? just a request, Bill, if you could. I'd appreciate it. Oh, man. So, yeah, now that he says light whiskey, I do understand the sweetness that I am getting from this. The light whiskey here is you get a very bright toffee note, but I'm also getting some nuttiness there. Interesting. Oh, Kelvin 60 sold out on Sealbox now. Eric, what about Bourbon Outfitter? Triple Oak was conceived by the late Paul McLaughlin of Kelvin Cooperage before he passed away. So the Kelvin logo is also on the bottle. Oh, it is. That's awesome. Yeah, there it is there on the bottom. You guys see the Kelvin logo there. That's really cool. Kevin McLaughlin, yeah. All right, let's give this one a try, guys. Wow, a much lighter experience compared to, I probably should have started with this one because coming off the Double Oak, this one isn't holding up as much, but it drinks a lot sweeter. Again, with the light whiskey, makes a lot of sense. Sold out on share pour as well. Man, everyone, the word's getting out. 4-gate 60 seems to sell out and then reappear. I think we'll see more of it. And especially in stores, if you're in a state that gets 4-gate, they normally don't sell out right away. Word needs to get around a little bit about this one. This actually has a sneaky finish that I was not expecting. It was coming off very light in the beginning. Again, it's very sweet, very fruit forward. The triple oak, I do think I get that a little bit up front, but the back end goes a lot sweeter. I like that one. That is much better on the second pour. The first pour that I had of that, I wasn't crazy about it. But I think, again, just being a light whiskey, as it opens up, it actually opens up for the better. It gets a little bit more spicy. I'll still try. This might be more of a try before you buy rather than a go in and get it. The Kelvin 60 is a go in and get it if you can find it. This thing is an absolute beast of a bourbon this year. So, yeah, 4-gate just continues to put out some really unique whiskeys. Good stuff, man. Good job, guys. All right. Let me take a sip here. And before we get into our next bourbon, we are going to get into a couple news stories here. First one up. Have you guys heard about this bottle yet? This just dropped, I think, like yesterday or the day before. This is the Woodford Reserve 2023 Masters Collection, number 19. And this pays homage to Northern California's wine scene. So this is the Sonoma triple finish. The expression was finished in a combination of Sonoma County Pinot Noir and brandy barrels, as well as ex-bourbon barrels that were used to age red wine. The 2023 Masters Collection hosts a suggested retail price of $150 and can be purchased at the Woodford Reserve Distillery and retailers. Let's see here. The result is a whiskey that brings together the worlds of bourbon and wine in a way unlike we've ever released before, says Master Distiller Elizabeth McCall. Let's see. It's still, well, okay. So the whiskey entered the barrel at 100. Oh no, that was last year's historic barrel proof. Never mind. So nose on this is vanilla with cinnamon dusted grilled pineapple and red plums. Taste, vine ripened red fruit with rich and warm vanilla bean and oak, and finish says long oak, red grape tannins. And the proof on this, of course, say it with me, 90.4, like everything else they do. That's why we need a cast strength Woodford double oaked. Been saying it, been harping on it. What do you guys have to say about that one? Let's see. Jerry Black in the house. What's going on? I just saw Richie Z. What's going on? Eric Sawyer, not seeing it on Bourbon Outfitters. Let's see. We might see more of this stuff. We'll see. Cheers. Master Drum, what part of Colorado are you heading tomorrow? Seeing Maddie. Yeah, Adam, I don't think you're going to be able to. Matt's pretty busy right now, so doesn't look like it. But we're going to be kind of all over Colorado this week and weekend. Me and my girlfriend Kim, we're heading out tomorrow and looking forward just to doing a nice getaway, non-whiskey related trip. So should be a lot of fun. Let's get into this Larceny. Let's get into this Larceny barrel proof C923. Whoa, holy crap. The cork just broke off. Well, that sucks. Thanks, Larceny. Are you shitting me? Oh, guys, I think I can make this work. I can make it work. It's open. Look at that. That's right. I can do it. Well, that's a shitty cork. I'm going to have to replace that cork. Great job, Heaven Hill, with your crappy glued corks. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's not a good omen. I agree. All right, so guys, Larceny Barrel Proof C923 comes in at 126.4 proof. 126.4 proof for this one. We're going to leave this here with the crooked-ish cork here. Damn, Jason is getting too jacked. He's ripping corks. Yeah, man, I'm going to rip these corks right out. Where did that one even go? Well, it went far. It went far. I'll get it later. All right. You know what? This needs a little time to open up here. Normally the Larcenys do. Let's get into another news story here, guys. Let's go into this one. Barrel Craft Spirits is releasing a bourbon that is supposedly one that they've never done before. And when we're talking about that, this one is named the Foundation. So this is an entirely different style that Barrel Craft Spirits has created. And the crux of it is this is a blend of 8-year-old Kentucky bourbon, 5, 6, and 9-year-old Indiana bourbon, 1 8-year-old Tennessee bourbon, and 5 and 6-year-old Maryland bourbon. So it's bottled at 100 proof. Barrel Foundation bourbon has a mash bill of 73% corn, 23% rye, and 4% malted barley. Barrel Foundation has a suggested retail price of only $60. That's kind of cool. Available starting this month online via Barrel Craft Spirits website, and also Arizona, California, DC, Delaware, Illinois, Maryland, Michigan, Missouri, New Jersey, Nevada, New York, Texas, and Washington. Yeah, so this is called the Foundation. We believe that a true art form in bourbon making is the ability to produce bourbon whiskey that can be enjoyed by everyone. Okay. All the usual press releasey type of stuff, but kind of a cool. Now, normally they use only 3 different bourbons, but now they're using 4 there instead of 3. I'm wondering if that Maryland bourbon is some of the Sagamore Spirit stuff. That might be kind of cool, but yeah, see what that looks like. No cork, no problem, Jason, says Jeff Winbush. Let's see here. Enjoy the mountains. I absolutely love them. If you find your way to benefit, check out Deerhammer Distillery Single Malt. Again, this is going to be non-whiskey, no whiskey. My 523 cork did that. Yes, James. I actually have it packaged up, so I'll get that out to you tomorrow morning before I leave, maybe, if I can. Foundation, that seems awfully familiar. Yes, it does. I thought the same thing. Bill. For the glue. Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, barrel under $75. From what it sounds like this one is geared towards kind of an easy sipping experience. I'm guessing that's how they blended it, making it the foundation of, I don't know. Isn't it cheap? Yeah, Nathan, I don't understand barrels. I love Barrel Craft Spirits and what they do, but I don't understand their pricing tier and their just everything that they put out and their structure, their pricing structure. It's all over the place. We had the regular barrel blends, which were about $100. Okay, $100 for those. Then they started doing the finishes, the Dovetail, the Armida, all the different crazy ones, the Seagrass. Those were about 100, sometimes a little bit more than 100. Fine. Then they're like, we're going to bring out the Stellum, which is going to be our budget blended bourbon for about $50. That's cool. They did that. But then they started premierizing their Stellum releases by then releasing higher aged whiskey in their Stellums. And then those were $100. But then how are they different than the barrel bourbon things? And now they come out with the Foundation that's now $50, $60. I mean, it's a little confusing. It's all over the place, but I'm wondering if the difference is they can release barrel versus Stellum to different states rather than both together to kind of spread the love. That's the only thing I can think of why they would kind of release all these different variants everywhere with different and the same price points. I can't really wrap my head around it. Stellum is their classic bourbon, not blends. The barrel stuff is their blended and finish line. Paul P, I thought they did do some blends in Stellum. No, I'm pretty sure they did. No, they need a whole label refresh line. Okay, well, let's try this one. So guys, you guys know Larceny Barrel Proof. I was pretty hard on it when it first came out, but it seems like they started getting better and better as of last year. I hated the first few releases of Larceny. I thought they were terrible. I know some people liked them, but they just didn't do it for me. They didn't taste like a wheated bourbon. They weren't great to me. So 334 watch them, only 79 likes. That's right, guys. Smash the like button if you could while you're there. Rob Drabinski said he explained the rationale for the bumped up Stellum by saying that people became fans of that profile of blends and they offered a higher age version of those. Interesting. I mean, I don't know. I get that, but you're still. I mean, when Stellum came out, it was like this whole thing about, well, we're gonna, this is our cheaper line. You don't have to pay $100 to get some of our. I don't know. And now it's like, okay, well, we're gonna make high end versions of this as well. I don't know. Hey, I mean, whatever they got to do. If it's doing well, they know better than I do. Let's see here. Well, the nose on this is fantastic. I'll tell you that. This is pure vanilla extract. Pure vanilla extract. A little bit of that spice, a little bit of that nuttiness that you get from Larceny, from some Heaven Hill in general. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Stellum Black Label, the start of that price increase on the affordable. Yeah, it's the black. Then they started releasing like the different, like the Moonlight and the Fibonacci, all the different like name ones. I think I have a couple of those somewhere. I just have too much crap. Wow. Larceny C923 is I mean, the cork broke, but the whiskey's pretty good. Man. I'm not going to do it now because I have a lot of whiskey to go through here, but I'm very curious how this stacks up against B523. The front and the mid palate of this is really, really good. However, there's something about the finish of it that's not jiving with me. I can't put my finger on it. Again, I think Heaven Hill's figured this out, man. This is a batch that isn't going to blow you away. However, in terms of just a really good Larceny barrel proof, this falls right in line with B523 from what I remember. It's very sweet. It's potent. It's got a nice, it's kind of got an easy finish, but then it's got a sneaky spice to it right on the back end of this. And then, yeah, it's a really good batch. C923. I mean, if anyone out there are big fans of this and you haven't grabbed a C923 yet, or you're planning to, I think you're going to be pretty pleased. It's a nice batch. Eric Farrer. I'm hearing really good things about the second Bernheim barrel proof. I haven't tried it yet. Only problem with Larceny is it isn't Elijah Craig. So here's my thing with Larceny. As good as they've been making these now, I still I still feel like they're making Elijah Craig barrel proof just as good or better than Larceny's. So it's almost like, man, I'd rather just have Elijah Craig. It's true. I'd rather just have Elijah Craig barrel proof over this. And I don't think that Larceny barrel proof is like far enough off of like a flavor profile of becoming a wheater. Or I should say tasting like a wheater. I think they're getting more towards a wheater as these batches go on. But if you're expecting like this floral, fruit forward, wheated bourbon with that's not really what's happened with the Larceny barrel proofs. I think they come off a little bit strong, which is fine. That's how Heaven Hill makes it. But I do I do think that the later batches do have a nice wheated bourbon quality to it. But yeah, I'm not sure they're that much better than Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is. But either way, both of them they're priced great. They're really good bourbons. It's hard to argue how good of values these are against most things in the market, to be honest. Did you try the Barrel Bourbon 10-year anniversary blend? Rare Breed, yes. I did, and I love it. I wish actually more people knew about it, because I think it's one of those sneaky underrated bottles that released this year that nobody's talking about, and it's really good. It's all gone now, but yeah, I think this is it. No, that's not it. I have it somewhere. Again, I'm just losing whiskey. Oh, it's over there. It's all the way over there. But yeah, it's good. I'll probably do a video on it at some point, because I do think it's worth doing a video on it. Okay. C923. Full review coming soon with, you know what, I'll probably just throw this in a blind against A123 and B523 and see which one shakes out. But this is a really nice batch. It's enjoyable. It's good. I dig it. All right. Next one up, baby. We're going Stagg. We are going Stagg. Most of the 10th anniversary went to the R Bourbon subreddit group. Really? I bought it online. As soon as I heard about it, I just purchased it online. All right. So my buddy Adam, if he's watching, thanks, man. We're going to crack open this Stagg 23A. If I could get my finger in there. Might need a little help. Really should just always have my knife down here at all times. Why is that in so far? Why is that in so far?
That's what she said.
Oh, shit. That was too easy. Yeah, let me use this pen. What the friggin' fudge? Got it. Okay. I'm excited about this one, guys. Always exciting to, crack open a Stagg Junior. Oh, the cork didn't break off of that one. All right, I'm only going to pour a little bit here. This isn't my bottle, so I want to make sure I don't pour too much here. But Stagg 23A, 130.2 proof. So I'll hold it up to the camera here. You guys can take a look at it. There's the Stagg, and there in the bottom area there is 23A. You could take a look at that. So there you go. So I think the last few batches of Stagg have actually been really good. Really enjoyed them. Again, there's some variance batch to batch, I think, for sure. But generally, they're all pretty good. To me, Stagg is like pizza. Even the bad pizza is still decent. Well, no, I'm not going to say that, because there's pretty bad pizza. Maybe Stagg is like an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Even the ones that aren't that great are still pretty good. Yeah, that's Buffalo Tracy all day long. So we'll let that sit. Let's see here. You'll poke an eye out with that thing. Salute all. Too easy. I'm totally eating my heart out at the sight of that Stagg. 23A, grapey, confectionery, sugar, and cola. Beautiful. That's what I always hope for. That is like my ultimate flavor profile from the, from Stagg, is just that. Just grapey, sugary, dark cola, or like a cherry cola too. That's what I like. Jason was about to endorse Pizza Hut. Yeah, no. Okay. Let's go to the next news story here real quick. And I'm not sure what you guys think about this one, but Pinhook is about to release their, I guess their most exclusive whiskey to date. I think it's called. Oh, rarest release ever. That's what it's called. Vertical Series Bourbon 8-year, described as different from any other sipper in the Pinhook collection. This whiskey is Pinhook's most limited edition release yet. The 8-year bourbon is blended from 120 barrels and has a suggested retail price of $90. 114.6 proof. This is distilled from mash bill of 75 corn, 20.5% rye, 20.5% rye, and 4.5% malted barley. Now the tasting notes for this sound pretty dark. It says dried fig, burnt sugar, cookie, and molasses. So if that's the case, I'm wondering if that's a pretty concentrated type of bourbon profile. I'm not really sure, but an interesting one nonetheless. The next news story is King of Kentucky, and we'll get into that in a little bit here. But a couple of new labels that I caught on the TTB. Looks like Peerless is coming out with a toasted rye. I don't know if this has been out yet. I've tasted their toasted bourbon, but looks like Peerless is getting in the toasted game, coming out with a toasted rye whiskey. Jim Beam is releasing their Old Overholt Cask Strength 11-year for 2024, and I really hope it's better than the other 11-year one that came out, because I did not enjoy that rye whiskey at all. I'm hoping maybe this being cask strength is a lot better. Ezra Brooks is getting in on the cask finish series. So this is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in port wine casks. This is Ezra Brooks. Obviously, this is under the umbrella of whatchamacallit, of Lux Row. So Ezra Brooks port wine cask finishes, 99 proof on this one. These are usually pretty affordable. So you could usually probably get these for, maybe 50 bucks. I love the Ezra Brooks 99 proof lineup. I think the rye's pretty decent. The bourbon's pretty good. This port wine cask one should be pretty decent. And then last but not least, High West. Looks like they're coming out with a bottled and bond straight rye whiskey. I don't, excuse me, man, I got a tickle in my throat. I don't understand this release, to be honest, from High West. Their Rendezvous Rye, which is so good. Their Double Rye, which I think is really good too. Why do you need a bottled and bond rye? Does that mean you're just going to come out with a younger rye whiskey that's only 4 years old? And I could now, if they need a cheaper price, a cheaper price point on a rye whiskey, maybe that's the reason. But I just don't know why you need that rye. Maybe they're just trying to capitalize on the bottled. This again falls into my point of bottle and bond being used as a marketing text and marketing ploy rather than being something truly to sell as a bottle and bond product. Who knows? I've had some weird tastings lately with High West. I feel like they go all in on their Midwinter's Night's Dram, but all their other releases, at least the ones that come out, are usually distillery only now, and they're really hard to get. So really what you're just left with is the Campfire, the Rendezvous Rye, the Double Rye, the Boo Rye sometimes if it's still out there, but that's really about it. So I'm not really sure what their direction is right now. Yeah, Blue. High West has went wacko in the last year or so. Not sure why. Well, they were bought by Constellation Brands, and they do weird stuff with whiskey. So just saying. David Smith says, I got to dump the last barrel for that Peerless Toasted Rye batch when we did the Heritage Tour last November. Really cool experience. Did you get to try the Toasted Rye, David? I'm curious. Who is drinking all this port wine? People in Portugal. That's where it comes from, man. In my opinion, Sagamore makes High West irrelevant. It's a good point. I think High West has gotten to the point where I'd rather drink their stuff than High West. Jason, did you get a Midwinter's Night's Dram? If not, let me know if you need one, says Tim Romero. I think that I think somebody was sending me like a half-drank bottle of their High West Midwinter's Nights Dram. You know what? I have enough of it, and I don't need more of it. It's one of those bottles that, kind of take it or leave it for me at this point. I do enjoy it, especially around the holidays, but it's not like I need to have that bottle anymore because there's just so many good finished rye whiskeys out there. So, but I think I do have one coming from a buddy, and I'll review that one, their latest batch, and see how it is. Merck says, just got back from a 3-week trip to Portugal and definitely had my fill. Okay. Plus, good point, Richie Z. Plus, it's $150 now. So, anyone else get pizza goldfish on the nose on Larceny? Pizza goldfish? Can't say I get that, Kyle. Yes, straight from the barrel. It's pretty delicious. Also have pictures of your long lost barrels from them. David, do you really? Like, how long ago was that? Are our barrels still at Peerless? Because that would make a lot of sense. Let me see here. Last November. Oh, so that was like a year ago. I'm trying to remember. No, because we did that pick in August. And then last November. Yeah, we still haven't seen those barrels yet, dude. I don't know where the hell they are. It sucks. Yeah, Sagamore Sherry, Sagamore Port finish, which I wish was more available. And then the Foregate, the Ruby Rye Springs, was probably one of the best port wine finished ryes I've ever had. That thing is a beast. Absolute beast. Yeah, November 1st, yeah. I was not able to try the Prisoner Blend, Liddy. Didn't get a chance to try that one. All right, let's try this Stagg. Can't wait to try this thing here. What time is it? All right, I got some time before we get into Blendageddon. So I agree so far. Nose, it is very grapey, little cherry. It's got like that Swedish fish candy thing going on, which I love in a Stagg. Man, this is dark. Cherry cola for sure. Yeah, this is exactly what you want in a Stagg. Stagg Junior, whatever you want to call it these days. Let's try it. Wow. That one is very rich. It is very sweet rich. That's liquid candy in a glass. Holy crap. Wow. That might be even sweeter than the 22 or the 22A. I thought the 22A got pretty sweet. This one I think is sweeter. Yeah, this is, man, people that love Stagg are going to love this batch because it's concentrated sweetness. It's very rich. It's decadent. It's confectionery. This is everything you love about Stagg. Does it beat my favorite batch of all time, though, batch 12? I don't know. When I do the full review, I'll definitely do that. I also want to compare this to batch 15 because if I remember correctly, batch 15 was super sweet. And I'm like, man, I don't know if it gets much sweeter than this, but this one, I think, gives you that type of sweetness. However, there's also like a darker type of sweetness to it. It seems like it's a little bit more concentrated. Like I feel like batch 15 was like a bright strawberry like Pop-Tart. And this batch is like if you left the Pop-Tart in the toaster a little too long and it got really toasty. Damn. Lydia, if you want to send me a sample of that, just email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com. Man, that's good. I can't wait to get back into that. But guys, if anybody out there has a 23A, or has a line on one, that's really good. And Adam, I'm going to try not to drink all this on you. That's right. All right, we got two more quick bourbons we got to get to here. Quick bourbons. Look what I'm saying here. One is the King of Kentucky. So the King of Kentucky has been announced. I had the press release here that they gave me. You know, I really need to learn to rip these plastic things off before the live stream. There we go. It's going to end up breaking the shit. All right. King of Kentucky 2023. And here are the details here. So again, guys, this is the first year that I've been lucky enough to get a sample of King of Kentucky, which is fun because I sure as hell am not going to get a bottle of it because I will not pay the markups for this. And the only way to get it in Ohio is if you win in a lottery, the lottery series that they do. So is 23A versus 22A. AW, if I'm going off of memory, I might like the 23A better, to be honest. Is 23A $250 good? I mean, listen. I know it's kind of a cop-out answer, to be honest, but it's the truth. Stagg is worth, or basically any Buffalo Trace bottle is going to be worth what you're willing to pay for it, because most of them are all marked up, unfortunately, especially Stagg. So I'll say this: if you're a huge Stagg fan, you're willing to pony up $200 to $250 for a batch of this particular bottle, I'll say this: you're not going to be disappointed. It's a really, really good batch. But guys, mainly they all are. It's just honestly what you're willing to pay to get a bottle of Stagg. That's all it is. People always say, "Oh, is it worth it? Why would you pay the money for it?" Because people love Stagg and they want what they can't have. That's what it is. All right, King of Kentucky release notes. Date of distillation, July 19th, 2007. 51 barrels made up this batch of King of Kentucky. It is 16 years old. The entry proof was 125 proof. The mash bill is 79 corn, 11% rye, 10% malted barley. And this is, remember, that's the early times mash bill. That is not the traditional Old Forester mash bill. That's the early times mash bill. Approximately 3,800 bottles will be released for this one. It's pretty limited, as they always are. I wouldn't pay $300 for a Stagg, Mr. Mushnick. I think $250 might be like my lock, stock, and barrel, but it's got to be a really impressive batch for me to spend that money on it, to be honest. What's the age of Stagg? Is it really higher value than ECBP? It's not. It's not. What makes Stagg a higher value to some people is because it's sweeter than Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and it's it's Buffalo Trace. It's got unicorn farts in it or something that everybody has to run out and buy it. That's just what Buffalo Trace is to a lot of people. Suggested retail price of this one this year, guys, is $300. $300 for this one this year. So that is all the information. It's always a good day when you try King of Kentucky. Here we go. The same store had Four Roses 2023 LE for $400. 400, man. I don't know if I'd go that high for Four Roses. Maybe. Try it once. If it's worth the money, you know. If it's not, you know that too. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's... So compared to other King of Kentuckys I've had, and I've only had maybe 3 or 4, this one is pretty tame on the nose. It's not hitting me like super, but I mean, you get like that super sweet, dense oak in King of Kentucky is there. I would argue there's like a vanilla extract type thing going on in this as well. It is crazy rich. King of Kentucky is good. Cream of Kentucky is the date you didn't want. Unicorn farts are damn tasty. Are they really? Yeah, I guess they are AW to some people here. Man, very rich on the nose. I want to try this because not getting a ton off the nose here. Give it the old swirl job. Cheers, guys. Here we go. I take that back. The palate's amazing. Wow. King Kentucky is just, I just put it in the realm of one of those bourbons that has figured out how to age stuff. Man, I mean, the finish just keeps going. That's why I'm stopping here. Man. It's like they figured out how to age stuff so perfectly at a high age, but get the oak in it, but not let it get overly oaked and just bounce out like an intense sweetness that's just so good. Man. Yeah, this is a vanilla caramel molasses bomb. I would argue there's some cherry, like Luxardo syrup in there too. That's the thing. When you have this and you put it next to like the Stagg, I mean, you know, the Stagg, you could tell, you know, how much younger it comes off. I mean, yeah, the Stagg smells really good, but next to this, the Stagg is like, wow, that thing is really, it's really young now. Man. The one knock I'll give this year's is that the finish doesn't last as long as other ones that I've had. The front of the palate's great. The mid palate's great. But the finish definitely might be lacking a little bit of something. But again, I've had a lot of really good whiskeys tonight so far, including Stagg and the 4-Gate. But you know what? I take that back. The finish is kind of lingering here. It's pretty damn good. Yeah. I mean, I'd much rather have a King of Kentucky over a Pappy Van Winkle any day of the week. I just think they're that good. It's so good. But you know what, though? As good as this has been a really, really good year in bourbon. And I think there are more bourbons this year that can, I'm not going to say measure up to this, right? You know, get right there, but I think get pretty close to this. And I would put a Logitech Browproof C923 right up there with that. Just based on, you know, the age. I mean, it's pretty, remember, 13 years and 9 months is the youngest whiskey in the ECBP C923. There could be older stuff. We could have 14, 15, or 16-year-old stuff in there. I mean, you don't know what they put in that batch. But I mean, when they're releasing stuff like that for sub 100, it's hard to like get, even though this is insanely good, there's just been a lot of really good bourbons this year, which is a far cry from last year, which last year was a disappointment for me. Last year, I was like searching for new bourbons and searching for like a top 10. Whereas this year, I mean, people are coming out. Age statements went off the rails this year. I mean, there's age statements everywhere now. It's crazy. That's what 2023 is for me. It's the year of the age statement. The age statement has come back in a big way, and I love it. I think it's great. Blendageddon will be a hard act to follow with that lineup you tasted tonight. Well, that depends on how good your blends are, Stu. But man, holy crap. I mean, this doesn't do anything fancy, guys, King Kentucky. This just gives you bold, sweet oak, a lot of caramel, a lot of vanilla, maybe some like toffee in there, that little punch of like Luxardo cherry syrup, long spicy finish, a lot of baking spice in the back end. It does what King of Kentucky does, and it's damn good. So, hey, if anyone out there is lucky enough to get one at retail, more power to you. But this is a absolutely great batch. I mean, they're always good. I mean, yeah, this one's 125.8 proof. So, yeah, it's got a good proof to it, even at 16 years old. Damn. I still have my one bottle of King of Kentucky that I am just sipping. Very, very, very little. I'm just trying to let that ride out because I don't think I'll ever find one after that one's gone. So maybe I'll just keep this sample around for another 5 years. Just sip it little by little by little. This year was much better than last year. So many good bottles. I agree. King Kentucky and William Lee Weller are both amazing, very different from each other. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a William Lee Weller in a few years. Unfortunately, I just can't get them anymore. Blendageddon will be hard. Oh yeah, we already said that. Do Elijah Craig private barrels hold up to the BP? I picked up a private barrel Total Wine pick, but haven't opened it yet. Mr. Mushnick, some of them can. It really just depends on who's picking it, but you just really have to kind of taste them out. It all comes down to who's picking it, because I've seen a lot of groups pick some really shitty barrels because that's all they could get, and they just grabbed it, picked it. So you have to really know who's picking your barrels. Age statements are the trump card for heritage distilleries. Yeah, the heritage distilleries from Jim Beam are crazy. Jim Beam released the Baker's 13. They released the Claremont, the Frankfurt, the Boston, all with, what is that, 15, 16-year ages on them. I mean, crazy. What's up, Eastwood 1999? Jay, the only thing better than Tater 2 from a prior week is tonight's lineup. Very nice. Yeah, going from the $6,000 bottle of Blanton's to tonight. So we're going to save the 13th Colony Double Oak for the end tonight, guys, because I want to get through these blends. I want to be able to, actually taste some of these blends here tonight, because we have a great lineup here. We have the guest judge waiting in the wings tonight, guys. But before we get started, check out tonight's trailer for Blendageddon Frankenblends week number 2. Oh wait, that's not it. That's the photo. This is what I want. Here it goes. Oh, yes, we are ready, guys. Here are the 6 blends going head-to-head tonight. And without further ado, we want to bring in my judge for tonight, my special guest judge, coming in tonight all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio. It is Mr. Jeffrey Wack. What's going on?
All right. Hello again, Jason.
How are you? Is that an Octomore I see in front of you?
Well, you were warming up your palate, so I was figuring I had to like pregame with like some William LaRue Weller and some Octomore, to match your King of Kentucky and everything that you were just sipping on.
I don't
I
think
get my palate warmed up.
I don't think warming up with Octomore is a smart move. Just saying.
Oh, we'll find out. It might work for somebody.
Nick Bernhardt with a $5 super chat. Love the show. Thoughts on Penelope 9-year? I just got a bottle, Nick. I haven't cracked it open yet, but there will be a review of that coming very soon. So keep an eye on for that. Hey, Chris Tats is in the house. What's going on, buddy? All the way from Australia. Where is the K. Luke Batch 6? I tasted that a while back, dude. It's a damn good batch. Love K. Luke Batch 6. That's right. It's the whiskey friend, Mr. Jeffrey Wack. You ready for this, Jeff? What? What's the matter with you?
Your video freaked me out.
Why?
I've got 5.
You have 5 what?
Samples.
You only have 5?
I got A through E. Let me go scan upstairs real quick, but I only had 5, I thought.
You didn't get the F?
I didn't get F, I don't think, but I will double check. So just give me 2 minutes to go run around and make sure. I just double check the box and everything.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't in the box, it's probably not there. Why wouldn't you have the last sample?
Oh,
I
don't know. Let me go look, but give me just 2 minutes to do my.
Oh yeah, if you're missing it, we'll work it out. It'll be fine. It'll be good. You got 5 of them, so as long as you just kind of help me weed through, the 5 here, we'll get down to a top 2. We'll make it work.
Okay. So just give me 2 seconds. I'll go backstage, stall for 2 minutes. I'll just do a scan upstairs just to make sure I didn't misplace it.
All right, you got it. What the F? Nathan Jerry says F sucked anyways. Yeah, we'll see. So obviously, like you guys always know, these were poured blind. What we have here is 6 blends, and as you can see the names here, we have Keith Thompson, Wise Guy Stu, Hugo Gonzalez, Run DMC Kentucky, Darren Clary, and Saucy Shane, all going head to head tonight in this bracket. Here's the bracket, guys. I don't think this is the updated image, but I did it again. This is the image I need. Oh yeah, this is the updated image. As we see, we have Shelby Strunk and Jay Turner making it to the next round from last week. Then we have week 2. The top 2 tonight will advance. And then week 3 next week is a big one. Eric Sawyer, the defending champ for the American blends of Blendageddon, who decided to throw his hat in the ring for the Frankenblends against Smokey Joe. Let's see. Who else we got? Henry Turner, Joshua Maxwell, Oisin Hayes, and Danny Lopez. So we have a hell of a week coming up in week 3. And then the final week will be all of those guys going head-to-head, all 6, to choose the champion. That's when the prizes will also be announced. So there you go.
All right. So.
All right, Jeff. So you did not enter a blend this year because you were too busy going to a million bourbon festivals, correct?
Million bourbon festivals, playing in the fundraiser and doing just so many things the last 3 months. It was just it's been a whirlwind.
So you have them. You have them in order, right? You have them in order A through. Well, you have A through E, right?
I have A through E. I'm just
okay.
Missing,
So that's the same. That's the same order I have, except I have an F, and you don't have the F.
Yep.
What the F? Okay.
I don't have what the F. So we'll see what happens to F for you, and then decide what to do from there.
Yeah, well, we'll do it, man. So let me grab my notebook here. I want to write this down because we're gonna break these down. Mark Emanecker, yeah, he didn't find the F. Adam Hinson, yeah, he didn't enter this year either. Yeah, I feel like some guys got a little scared. We'll see what happens. Has anyone tried the binder stash? I have not tried that, Kyle. I always see pictures of it. Tim Evans says wax a planner. He's not happy about this. Hey, 210 21090's in the house. What's going on? I'm guessing that's Todd. Let's see here. So it's now Jerry Wack. Yeah. Without the F. Well played, Mark. Look at logo Mark wrote. That's well played, Mark. I like it. Binders is wildly expensive MGP. That's what I heard it is, but I can't say anything about it. I've never tried it. Okay. You ready, dude? Oh, you're still pouring them.
I'm pouring them out. Let me get a piece of paper just like you, and I am ready to go.
All right, dude. All right, so we're going to start with sample A, obviously, because that's where we're going.
There's a fancy notebook here.
Oh, Top Dog Bourbon. Look at that.
Yeah. All right, sample A. Let's get into it. I'm pretty excited to do this, Jason.
I'm glad you were able to do this, man. I really wanted to have you on. So, and when people don't put blends in, cheers, buddy. Thanks for helping out tonight on Blendageddon.
Easier. Now, remind me the rules of the Frankenstein blend.
So, Frankenblends, you could pretty much put anything you want in the blend, as far as as long as you're not putting in like some crazy liqueurs or anything like that. But if you wanted to blend rum, Armagnac, rye whiskey, bourbon, light whiskey, this is your chance to do all that in this category. American blends this year was just American whiskeys, and they could not be store picks. So there you go.
All right.
I don't know about you, but I smell rum. You smell rum?
I do smell rum. What is the what's the liqueur? Amaretto.
Amaretto.
Like something along those lines. A rum or an amaretto was kind of the first things that come to mind. There's also a darker fruit that keeps getting my attention, almost like a fig or not quite a date, maybe a fig.
Yeah, this is extremely rich on the nose. And as you guys can see the color of this, look how dark this blend is. Ooh, that's pretty. Yep. Oh, man. That smells amazing.
Man, a bit of dark cherry in there, too. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this we're going along the lines of just some different whiskeys that we're blending together as far as different whiskeys that have those flavor profiles, or are there some finished whiskeys in here? But if there is not a rum in here, I'd be really surprised. It's very rummy to me. I like that maple syrupy rum raisin type thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the raisin or the fig and that kind of family, that dried fruit.
Yep, dried fruit for days.
Family.
That's really nice. All right, you ready to taste this one? Here we go.
All right.
The palate got peachy to me.
It did get real peachy.
It got peachy.
It flipped there, and then the finish, it just continues on with that. That was not the direction I thought that was going to go in. It's
no, me either.
It was going to be.
Me either. It got peachy. Wow, that's really interesting. I mean, that's really
Yeah, it just gets peachy. What's so funny is when you first drink it, it tastes like it smells. When you're just getting used to the mouthfeel and everything, you're like, okay, it's going down where I think it's going to go down. And then all of a sudden, it's like, well, peach.
I mean, I've had rums that go peach and pineapple. I mean, that's why I'm still maybe sticking with rum here. Man.
Huh, interesting.
If you guys still have any more whiskey questions, feel free to throw them in here. Mark Emmenecker is thinking Crown Peach is in the mix. Really interesting is a Midwest version of Bless Your Heart, says Joe Waneker. No, I think it's kind of interesting in a good way. It's extremely fruit forward. I mean, the nose, the palate, it's got a decent finish. I mean, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to start it. It's a good way to start it off. I like it.
It's really oily too.
Yeah.
So the mouthfeel on it's pretty good.
The mouth experience is delicious. I'm gonna write that down actually. Great mouth experience.
Great mouth experience.
Bourbon Bill says, I hope no one put Peerless Double Oak in the blend we got Jeffrey judging. Do you not like Peerless Double Oak?
So I have a bottle of Peerless Double Oak that it hits me wrong every single time.
Yeah.
Now I gave a sample of it to Bill. Bill was like, "Ah, it's fine. It tastes just like mine." I gave Katie Turkapor, and her face went like upside down. Like she was like, "That's no good." But then Ethan's in between us, and he's like, "I don't know what you two are reacting to." So it was like there's something about the finish of it that just some people react to and some people don't. But I think it's a little tainted.
Is Heaven Hill releasing a 17-year William Heaven Hill this fall? I don't think so, but they did just recently announce the Heaven Hill 18, which I think is coming out next year. In the what do you call it? The Heritage series, the Heritage collection. They announced the Heaven Hill 18 year. The 17 year was 2 years ago. Or last year, I should say. This year's was the 20-year corn whiskey. Next year's is going to be the Heaven Hill 18. So they did announce that. You still on one?
No, I think I've learned all I need to learn on one.
All right, I'm nosing two, or B, whatever we're on here. B.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, yeah, B is very nice. Yeah, I think the first one definitely gets points for uniqueness, for sure. Jason, they released the William Heaven Hill 17 at Heaven Hill today. Oh, they released it. Oh, today they released it? Those are the days where I wish I lived in Kentucky. When they released those William Heaven Hills. I never get them. The last one I got, I think, was the 15-year bottled in bond from a couple years ago?
Yes, I think I had that one in my hands at one point, actually.
Yeah, that's the last one I got. That one was really good, but that was the last William Heaven Hill I got. And the one before that was the William Heaven Hill, I believe it was a 16-year.
Maybe that's the one. It's one of those two.
Yeah. Those are the last two William Heaven Hills that I've ever gotten.
I was at the Party Source, and I just walked by, and they were like, "Hey, do you want this?" And I grabbed it, and I had the William Heaven Hill. It was either the 15 or the 16 year.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, how much is it?" And they're like, $235. And I was just like, "Oh, that's way above my price point at that time." So I put it back. I handed it right back to him, and then I walked out. And now, 4 years later, I'm like, "Darn it, Jeff!"
You're still bitter about it. Kyle Barron, Jason, do you think the Wild Turkey will do a 12-year release in the States? I mean, not a 12-year, but I mean, essentially, they just keep releasing all these high-age blends that are a super ridiculous high price. You know, the single Rickhouse is I think a 10 to 15-year-old product. The Wild Turkey Generations is what, 9, 12, 14, 16. So would I like to see them do a standard 12-year release? Hell yeah. But I'd be scared of what they would charge for it. The way Campari is pricing Wild Turkey these days, it's just out of the stratosphere now. What's the difference between the Heritage 17-year and the William Heaven Hill 17-year? It's essentially where they're aging the barrels. That's the biggest difference. Mm-hmm. William Heaven Hill has a certain warehouses where they get those versus where they're aging their Heritage collection.
And then, as you said, sometimes those William Heaven Hills can be bottle and bond, and thus 100 proof. Exactly.
Yeah, proof's a big difference too, because the proofs on her. I think the one that I got, the 16-year, that 1 year, I think was sub 100 proof, if I remember correctly.
So on B's more traditional than I think from a Frankenstein blend on the nose.
I totally agree. This I felt like maybe could be like a good American blend. However, there could be some single barrels in here, maybe.
Could be. It's got like the oak profile of like the Calumet 14 through 16, but then it's grapey. I keep getting the grape note consistently too.
Chris Tats, I should have some 12-year 101 to pick up when I get home, Jason. Yeah, Chris, I stocked up on those, man. I have like 4 or 5 in the bunker. I just grabbed them before. I don't know. I wasn't sure if they were going to go away or not. Jason, you're going to double base Generations in Pride of Anderson County? Eventually, if I'm lucky enough to get a Pride of Anderson County. All right, I'm going to try this one. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, definitely way more traditional.
It's a very traditional blend.
It's coming off like a wild turkey to me a little bit. It's citrusy, it's vanilla. Like I'm getting turkey vibe. I don't know if just because we're talking about wild turkey, maybe that's like playing a role in it, but it's coming off a little turkey-ish. I will say this, the Generations, I went back to it last night for the second time, and it was way better than the first time. So we'll see what happens with that bottle.
Man, talk about divisive pour so far. That Generations keeps going all over the place for those that have had it.
Yeah. I did not like it the first pour. Second pour got a lot better. We'll see. You still can't convince me that's a $450 bottle right now.
Right. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They probably still sold out of it, though, or they sell it every time they put it out there.
Yeah. I don't know. I like 2 a lot, but it's very traditional. I'm like, it's good, but I can't say it wins any points for uniqueness.
Yeah, I mean, it's flavorful. The balance on it's really good. It's got a good finish on it, but it is very traditional. We'll see if that costs them. We'll see. That's a bold move. That's a bold move, Cotton.
Bold move, Cotton.
See if that works out.
Let's see if it works out for him. We'll see what happens. Let's see here.
All right.
I should have some. Ooh. Yeah, I got a whole mess of Wild Turkey 12-year when I was able to. As soon as that bottle went sub 200, I grabbed a few of them. All right, now we're talking with number 3. Rum.
Now you're talking rummy rum rum. Jeez.
Rummy rum rum. Somebody went a little heavy with the. Look how dark this one is. Holy shit.
Hey, they just poured your rolling fork aged in Elijah Craig straight into the sample bottle.
By the way, guys, if anybody's a rum fan, the Mash and Journey rolling fork picks that we did, we have a few still available online on sharedpour.com. We have 2 bourbon. We have 2 rums. One of them is a 10-year that was aged in Woodford Double O casks, and the other one is a 9-year-old that was finished in Elijah Craig barrel-proof barrels. So, yeah. Search Mash and Journey on Shared Pour. Go grab some. They're friggin' amazing.
That's what we like to call a softball, Jason.
It was a softball. Thank you for that. Thank you for the layup. Appreciate that. All this Heaven Hill talk and had to pour the Parker's Double Barrel blend. Holy bleep, that stuff is good. Oh, the Parker's Double Barrel? Yeah, that shit is so good.
I mean, gosh, this nose just screams Foursquare rum to me.
It does.
And I love it.
Maybe not even Foursquare, but it definitely screams rum.
There's a, do you get a little spiciness on the nose? Almost like a cayenne pepper kind of spice as you get into it.
Yeah, and I actually get it on the palate. Not cayenne. I'm going to say chili pepper. It's like that chili, like a chili red pepper flake that comes through.
Okay.
Chris Tats picked up another bottle of Rare Breed non-chill filtered here, and I have 2 more to pick up back home. Yeah, those are really good too.
This one's interesting because I like so much of what it's doing up front. It falls off on the finish compared to the first 2 for me so far.
It does. I feel like it's got a little bit of a sneaky finish here, but man, it's very, that is a, whatever that blend is, I'm just going to say this, it's freaking super crushable. It feels high proof, but I feel like I could crush the hell out of that. Whatever that is, that blend is really good.
Yeah, I could get addicted to that one. Yeah, it's got like a sneaky mellow, like it turns the volume down on the finish, but then it like stays at like the solid volume of like a 3 or a 4 for quite a while.
Yeah.
Man, that rum though. Jeez. If that doesn't have rum in it, there's no way.
then it's like I quit. I quit right now.
Yeah, I retire.
Oh, Bob D'Antoni from Foregate just he threw me the light whiskey in his Foregate Triple Oak blend is not 99. It's 80-11-9. That's interesting.
The Triple Oak has light whiskey in it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why it's so light.
Oh, that's why it's lighter than the.
When I held it up, I'm like,
60.
why is it so light? I'm like, it's light whiskey, but it's 80-11. It's 80-11-9, not 99-1. I don't know, dude. That stuff smells and tastes like Jim Beam. Does Jim Beam make light whiskey? Because if they do, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it was. Because it's very beamy to me. Jason, your BKC1 pick is fantastic. Thanks, Bob. Glad you're enjoying that one. Tim Evans says the Pride of Anderson County has me interested, pricey, but it should be fantastic. Yeah, the price points on those at $400 and $500 is way more than I thought they were going to be. However, I'm going to support David, and if I could get a bottle of one or the other, then I will do as such. But yeah, I think people were pretty taken back by the prices. But again, you know, it's tough when you're sourcing any barrels, especially wild turkey barrels. Things get really pricey real fast, unfortunately. All right, so out of the first three, do you have a leader? I'm just gonna kind of break it down. I'm just gonna gauge you a little bit here.
C is the one I'm drawn to. It's gonna be fun to do some head-to-heads with it. I'm still worried about the finish on C. A is the most unique one, which makes it stand out. B is very, very delicious, but it's so traditional that I'm wondering if it is what I want from this flight. So
yeah,
maybe going through D and E will help settle that, but it essentially loses me on the originality or what it's going for this particular tournament.
Yeah. All right. Kyle Barons, Jason, have you tried any of the recent Found North batches? No, Kyle, funny story. Found North sent me bottles of their recent releases, and they ended up on another person's address or porch, like where I live in like the same community. And then they were gone. So somebody took them, and I haven't received the new ones ever since. So I have not tried the newest ones yet. I've heard they're really good, but can't say I've had them. All right, the D. Oh, the D. There's some single malt here. This is single malt. All day long. There is some single malt scotch.
That's real interesting. Okay.
Yep. This is single malt scotch right here. Faux show.
But whatever they blended it with is also giving it a whole lot of depth and sweet.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, is it a Scotch or an Irish?
Oh, maybe Irish. Again,
Man,
depending on the blend.
I'm almost getting like the shortbread cookie type of thing. So that's what made me
could be Irish.
Lean that way.
I'll probably
a single malt.
Feel more on the palate here.
All right.
Oh yeah, it's Irish. I get that mango pineapple. Somebody blended some high age Irish in that. That's good.
And they proofed it up with something, I bet.
Yeah, because it's almost coming off like one of the what do you call it? Where is that that release that I have? The Middleton Dare Gaelics, where they have that super high A's. They're really concentrated, high proof, high flavor, all day long. Yep. Well, Tim Romero, it wasn't a porch pirate. It wasn't someone that like came up on my porch and took it. This got delivered like a bunch of houses down the road from where I live. And when I went to go check on it, they were like, "Oh, we don't have it," even though there was a photo of the delivery taken.
Oh man.
So yeah, they're probably drinking that shit right now, watching this, being like, "Ha ha ha! I have your Found North."
Getting any sherry?
I'm getting something in there. I don't know if it's sherry or port. I was kind of in between. You think like this is a blend of all the spots? All the spot whiskeys? The Madeira, the sherry. Oh,
Could be.
man.
Something's got to be fortifying it, though, because even on the nose, it does come off at a little bit higher proof.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Mhm.
I like the finish on it. However, I feel like the front of the palate, even though it's very good, it's a little soft. I mean, if that is Irish whiskey in there, which I would bet my bottom dollar, I think, yeah, it is.
It eases you into it, and then it really explodes. Whereas the rum on the last one, like, hits you right away.
Yeah.
It's almost the complete inverse of the last one, actually, because the last one tailed off on the finish. This one's slow to start, and then just, man, that escalation doesn't let go.
Yeah, that's
pretty
I don't
good.
know. That one might be the most unique. Well, I don't know about unique, but it might be the most. I think it does the most on the palate. It kind of starts off slow, but then it ramps up. Then it's got a really nice finish to it. Good flavors. That's an interesting blend.
I think that's always the interesting thing, though, with like these type of blends too, where it's the Frankenblend. Standing out is an important characteristic, and that we finally had one that drifted away from being a bourbon or a bourbon rum or what was going on with A and B or A and C, and then B is really just a straight down the middle. D finally changes it up, and it's like, all right, that's unique. That's going to stand out now because of that.
Bourbon Bill says single malt sounds horrible. Well, I mean, single malt means a lot of things, Bourbon Bill. So, Bourbon Bill, do you not like American single malt either? You're still trying to ease your way into that, or you're just like Scott from my bourbon journey? That dude just looks at single malt and like runs, or Scotch, I should say. But there are some American single malts that he likes. But I don't know. I'm just curious. All right, let's go to the E.
So, curious for you, Jason.
Yeah.
How often do you actually when you get to choose what you're going to drink? Like, you're not doing it for the channel, you're just doing it for you. In those moments that you have those moments, do you ever choose Scotch or single malts, or do you drift towards bourbons? How do you play that game?
It's actually seasonal for me. So most of the year, I'm gearing towards bourbon and rye. Now that we're getting into the cooler weather, fall and winter, for whatever reason, this is when I lean more on single malt sometimes. Like, I'll go to the peated scotches. I'll go to the heavily sherried scotches. There's just something very wintry to me about it. And I really love having, like, sitting on the porch with a cigar and having a really, like, heavily sherried single malt, like at cask strength. It's so good. I don't know. It's a seasonal thing for me. It really is.
Okay.
Irish whiskey is probably the least one I go to. But every now and again, I'll be in the mood for a good Irish, but that one's probably the fewest and far between for me. But yeah, I think it's like, for me, it's like bourbon, rye, and then the single malt, and then maybe Irish when it comes to that stuff. And then in between, I'll do rum, I'll do Armagnac. You know, I have a lot of interesting tastes, I guess. But when it comes to winter time and the fall weather, when it gets a little bit cooler, that's when you're going to see me probably sip the most single malt, like Scotch and stuff like that. Yep. What about you?
Man, I really want to get more into Scotch. I've been saying it all year, and it just hasn't happened. It was like on my resolutions for 2023 was to drink more Scotch, and then I just never drink more Scotch.
It's another it's another rabbit hole, dude. But
every time I do it or drink something Irish, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. But then in those quiet moments where I'm like, oh, what do I drink? I never go to my samples. I never go to the Scotch shelf. Like, I just go into the bourbon. Like, it's such a habit.
Well, it's because it's easier because when you're like scanning, you probably have a lot more bourbon and you're not really looking at what you have like Scotch wise. So I'm telling you, man, if you I know you like to sit in your like backyard on your deck, just next time you do that, try to find like a really good like grab like an Abelauer, like a cast rank, like a Abunad or something like that. Something high proof but heavily sherried. I don't know. There's something about it in the winter time. It's just so good. All right. Let's go to E.
Well, E.
Hmm.
Gosh. It's kind of in between everything that we've had so far.
Yeah. There's something traditional yet non-traditional about it.
There's like this deep glaze going on.
Oh. The palate on this is... I want to see Jeff's face.
Okay.
Yeah. You feel that one?
Talk to me a little more.
Yeah. What is going on in this thing? Hey, Bourbon Lens in the house. What's going on? Bourbon Lens is here. Great podcast. Glad to see you fellas here. Woo.
There's a peated scotch in this blend.
Yes, there's
something peated in there.
Yep. There's something there's something peated.
There's definitely something peated.
I don't smell it on the nose though at all. It's
hanging everywhere.
This
on
thing's
the sides of my mouth.
Crazy. This thing's crazy.
I can smell it. I can smell it now. Not that this is a bad thing. It's just the best way I can articulate it. It's I'm getting a little bit of that Band-Aid now. Now that I'm like tasted it, but on the nose I can.
Yeah, but there's so much
faint Band-Aid.
There's so much sweet wrapped up in here.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this might be the most interesting blend I've come across tonight. This thing's crazy.
Oh man, I just got a whole lot of like, gosh, not quite tropical fruits, maybe more stone fruits. I don't know if it's apricot. I took a turn on that one too.
It's smoky, it's sweet, great mouthfeel to it, good texture, good finish on it. The smoke doesn't hit you until the very end of the sip. All up front, it's all sweet and fruit and almost like a honey characteristic, and then it just goes into smoke. But it's a very delicate light smoke that's more fruity. Kind of think of like a Lagavulin type smoke, where it's a little bit of a. It's not like the harsh smoke that you would get with like a Lafroig or an Ardbeg. It's a little bit lighter. Damn.
Like you marinated some meat and you're just letting it burn just a little bit, but that sweetness and char are just mingling with that marinade.
Dude, that's good. I'm
interesting.
I'm loving this blend right now.
Yeah.
Not only is it the most unique, but it's delicious. That's a masterclass blend right there.
That's fun.
That's good. Damn. It's apricot. Is it apricot or apricot or
Jason,
apricot?
you've seen me try to pronounce people's names live. You know I'm not the right person for this question, but I'm going to say apricot.
Apricot.
I love that. I love how they use the peat as a blending component in this one.
Yeah, and I love that the peat is not the center of attention here. It's just it's a little extra on the end that you get, which is very hard to do with something peated.
It's an accent. That's interesting.
Yeah. Damn. JG says Jeffrey meat talk. He's loving it. There you go. All right, Jeff. So in the meantime, I'm gonna talk through letter F here, and in the meantime, why don't you kind of taste through them again, kind of get your ranking. And is one already empty?
No, this is my F.
You drank it already?
Well, no, you didn't give it to me, so I'm just gonna
I
act like
know you didn't get the F.
I'm in the motions.
I said F you.
Dana, by the way, when I ran upstairs, Dana was like, "You only got 5." I was like, "Okay."
Okay, good.
All right, so I'll go through and do some comparisons.
So
here.
F, just to kind of talk you through it here, I would say F's a little bit more traditional on the nose. However, it's powerful. And look how dark this one is. This is letter F. Look at that. This is a very, very dark blend.
Good,
I'm guessing there's some good age stuff in here. Maybe a little Logitech barrel proof action happening here. Man.
Oh, this is fun. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for asking me.
We may have an F-in problem here. F is really good. Wow. Okay. So F, I'm gonna need another. You know what? Let me do with a little water too, because I had E, which is like that smoky one, kind of on my palate.
All right, Jason, just keep them occupied for like an hour and 15 minutes. I'll be right there.
Hour 15. You gonna take a poop? What are you doing?
No, I'm just gonna drive to you.
Oh, you're gonna drive over? Okay, there you go.
That's the only way to solve this, right? You can keep them occupied. Play some silhouette games, and it'll work.
Silhouette game, yeah, you can do that. Man, F is a. So, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of everything in F. I feel like there could be some single malt in there, but bourbon. This has a little bit of everything going on. This might be the most vast types of blends that I've seen in this category. Like last year, there were a good amount of blends, but there might have been like 1 or 2 that had some peated stuff in it. But most of them were just like different types of American whiskey blends and putting in some barrel picks and stuff like that. However, this year, at least this round, the amount of ones that we're getting with like rum in it, and then I think Irish whiskey, and then some single malt, and then some smoke, and now whatever this Frankenblend is, this is all over the map. Man, F is really good too. F probably wins on mouthfeel alone. This thing just sticks to the roof of your mouth, which is very intense. It's a caramel, honey. There's like a toast to it, like literally like wheat toast breadiness to it. That's there as well. A little bit of a smokiness to it. It's fruity. This thing's delicious. And now I'm getting some really like rich oak and molasses on the very finish of that one. Holy shit, guys. Dude. Yeah, this is a lot of variety here in these samples. All right. So I like B, but I think B is kind of out because it's just not. Did you go back to B yet?
I went back to B. You know, it's really, really good. It's got something extra age in it. I still think it's the Calumet 16 if I were to guess, but it's something like that in there.
Yeah.
But it just feels like a bourbon blend. It doesn't feel like the all worlds blend that all the other ones stand out for those reasons, but it's really good. But
I think Calumet 16. Yeah, Calumet's a good call on that one. It is very cherry forward, I think too.
It's got a lot of cherry. Yep.
A lot of cherry. I was thinking in my head maybe like some Wild Turkey 17-year Ball and Bond. That's where it kind of took me to with that heavy cherry. But yeah, I get it. Something high age, something with some depth and oak to it, but as far as uniqueness and even on the finish, I don't think it holds up to the other one. So you agree with me to kind of take B out of the running?
I agree with you. I think the extra age profile is very, very good on it, but it doesn't stick out. It doesn't allow it to stick out in this particular flight.
Yep. I'm with you. All right. I got to go back to A because A is so nuts.
A's gotten strange going back and forth with everything.
How, in what ways it gotten strange?
I'm rinsing out just to give it another shot here. I think it is so apricot. I can't even handle it. I know there's this apricot and peach, and it's just like it's blossoming even further than what we said before. Like,
yeah, it completely took over.
We talked about dark cherries and raisins before, and now I can't smell those at all.
No, I can't. I don't get them at all. It's just peaches.
Mm-hmm.
Peaches, free.
I don't want to speculate too much, but it's almost that vibe I get from even like seagrass, where it takes me for that ride.
Absolutely. There's another something I get a lot of peach on. I'm trying to think of what it is. I don't know if it's like certain rums or there's something I get a lot of peach on.
It was Crown Royal Peach. Someone's already called it out.
Is it Crown? Yeah, somebody maybe put some Crown Royal Peach in here.
That would be a pretty awesome move. I don't know.
That'd be pretty ballsy.
Because they'd have to proof that thing up from there. It's like, okay, I'm starting with this 70% Crown Royal. What do I do?
Brian Shubas says solution: pick 2 from A through E and throw an F for the finals. Maybe. I don't know if it's even got to be that hard, guys, because F is definitely making a run here. I think. I do love the uniqueness of A, but it's just too much peach now.
It's too much peach. It goes flat on the finish now. Something weird happens with it now. Like I'm digging it less than the first impression.
All right. So we have now C, D, E, F.
These are exciting.
Yeah. C I love because C is the one we think is we think there's like some Foursquare in here.
Yeah, I mean it's rum versus Irish versus
P
subtle peated monster
versus F, which I think has a little bit of everything going on in there. Okay.
I mean, on the nose, I like C's nose better than E. D and C are my favorite noses, at least.
Man, E for me has gotten like a chocolatey barbecue sauce on E for me, which is crazy. Yeah, smell E now. It's like a...
Oh, I'm getting all maple syrup now.
Yeah, dude. Maybe that's... Yeah, maple syrup. That's what it is. Like maple barbecue. Wow.
Maple for
days.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude, I love E.
How did that turn into that deep of a maple? Going back to my notes.
I know, these blends just keep evolving in the glass. That thing is insane. Wow.
Man.
Oh, I love this so much.
That one's just so interesting. Gosh darn.
All right, I got to go back to D, which we thought was the Irish.
And still think is the Irish.
Still think is the Irish. See, this is all mango and pineapple for me on the nose. Easily. Mango, pineapple, even like a hint of like a toasted coconut.
I can see the mango. I've got some mango seltzer right here, Leah. Give that a little sniff. Yeah, it smells like mango.
It also has like a little hint of smoke on it on the very end on D, which I like. But I don't think D can hang with E. It is really good, but I think E is on another level. And then you have C. All right, so let's do it this way, Jeff.
Shoot.
If you had to pick between C and D, leave E out of the equation, but if you have C and D, where are you at with those two? You have C, which is the very, very rum-forward one, and then you have D, which is kind of the Irish one. Which one do you like? Do you like more between C and D?
Tell you what, they're neck and neck for me. They both have different highlights, which makes it harder to. Man, so the rum on the nose, I'm attracted to on C. So I give the nose to C. Then I'll go through the experience one more time. I love how the rum starts out with the flavor blast on C, but then it drifts off by the finish. Whereas this one, D, is more subtle initially, but then it makes me think about it a lot, mid-palate and into the finish, and it just keeps hanging. So it's like they're two totally different experiences. But this one's the tastier one, the one I want to crush. This one's the one I want to sit and think about.
What's the one you want to crush?
C's the one I want to crush. D is the one I want to sit with and think about.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what.
Damn.
Do you agree with me that E should make it through?
E is my number one.
Mine too. So whoever made E, they're moving on to the next round. So I'm going to take that one out of the mix. Now, you have C and D in front of you. So congrats to whoever blended D, because that shit is amazing. F, C, and D now are kind of in the mix. Now, you don't have the luxury of F, but I could tell you right now that F might be good enough to take out these other two. F is that good. I'll have to send you some F for you to taste this shit, because it's just potent, it's rich, it's dense. I think out of all the blends we've had here, F actually has the best texture out of all of them.
Well,
but F.
So F is your two. It sounds.
F has attributes. I feel like there's bourbon in it. I feel like there could be some single malt in it, and I feel like there could be maybe some Irish in there as well. F is a weird mix of stuff. Maybe. Unless just the whiskeys they use just kind of did that. I don't know. All right. So Jeff, between
C and D, I am D, which is very surprising to me because of how much I love Foursquare rum, but I'm pouring a little bit more of D now. There's something about D, particularly because of the finish. I think that's the thing that's making D stand out to me more than anything. It doesn't have the sweetness that C does, but there is just some depth to the mid palate and the finish that just attracts me.
I couldn't agree more. I think you're right. So we have E that's in it. And then we have D and F. Between the two, I mean, it's tough. I might do that because Jeff didn't get F. I think F is really good, but I know how much Jeff likes E. So I might move E to the next round as well. Maybe I'll throw F in the next round of blend for next week just to see how it does against the other ones. But I'm going to keep F in the mix because I think it's that good. So,
okay. I think
so
that's
what we're gonna, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with E as the first one. I definitely want to keep D in the mix, which is what we think is the Irish whiskey. We won't know tonight because it is going to move on to the next round. And then we're going to keep F in the mix too because for some reason I didn't send you F. I don't know why. But I guess I was just in a mad rush trying to get you the damn package and I forgot to throw that sample in there. So it looks like we're going to eliminate 3 of them tonight. And let's find out what they are here, guys. So I have the blend components over here. And I have the key to the blends. Oh, I dropped one of them. I dropped it. And here is the key that was left for me. So let's find out what we got here. Excited for this, Jeffy?
I am pretty excited.
All right, so let's go with A first. So A was the one that we thought was very raisiny, kind of rummy in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it went like
apricot.
It went
reminds
pure,
me of seagrass.
It went pure peachiness. So let's find out what that one is. That one belonged to Wise Guy Whiskey Stew with his blend called Alpha Kenny Body. Did you catch that? Alpha Kenny Body. That's the name of his blend. If you say it quickly, Alpha Kenny Body. Alpha Kenny Body. You got it? You got it yet?
I don't have it, but I'll pretend that I'll have it, and then you fill me in later.
All right. Here it is. Alpha Kenny Body. All right, let's see what we got here from Wise Guy Whiskey Stew. Let's see what we have. So we said it had some rum and it had a lot of peach. Let's see what we got. One of them was Pilar rum finished in Spanish sherry cask. Okay. Then Foursquare rum, 2010.
Interesting.
Catcher's rye finished in a French barrique cask.
Oh, he gave me a sample of that before.
Blue Note, the Hello Again Whiskey Friends pick. Did you plan that?
Really?
Yeah. The Hello Again Whiskey Friends Blue Note pick. One Old Forester barrel proof bourbon. 2 Nashville 8-year NGP Kelvin barrels. And then 2 Old Soul tin type number 1 7-year NGP. So he blended a bunch of NGP, Old Forester, some Blue Note, a rye, and then he went all rum. Wise Guy Stew, this was a really good and unique blend, but unfortunately, I think as it sat, the rum completely took over. It just took over.
Man. Stu's probably sitting there in the background like, come on, Jeff, this was made for you.
He probably lit up when he saw you were coming on as the judge. He's like, oh, I got
sorry,
this shit.
Stu.
Yeah, sorry, Stu. All right. That was letter A. Letter B. B is the one that we said was very traditional. We really didn't think it was like extremely, didn't have a lot of uniqueness. It was a very good blend. You said maybe some Calumet was in there. I said maybe some Old Turkey. This blend belongs to Keith Thompson, and the name of the blend is How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother.
Interesting name for it.
Let's see what's in this blend. Oh my God, he's got tape and tape and tape. Yeah, the A blend was the peachy one. Oh my God, he taped the shit out.
Keith is great. I got to meet Keith at a summer jam.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, dude, you nailed it. There is Calumet 14 year in it, not 16, but 14.
I said 14 to 16. Yeah.
And pretty close too as well. Doc Swinson 15 year was also in this blend.
Okay.
Do you know where Doc Swinson sources their high age stuff from? Is that also Barton?
So I have a like Doc Swinson that NASA Liquor put a sticker on.
Okay.
And it looks like Green Day's Dookie cover, just to give you a visual image.
Yeah.
And on all of the barrels that they're dropping from the Dookie explosion says HH on it. So I don't know if that was supposed to be a Heaven Hill reference or not, but
all right.
I always think of that whenever I hear it. But then I also heard about the it being the toted beam for so long, you know?
Wow, this is really interesting. So he's got Doc Swinson 15 year, Calumet 14 year, IW Harper 15 year, But then he's got Hancock's Reserve in there, which is only 2% of the blend. And then he has Obtainium 27-year Canadian Hazmat, which is really interesting because it doesn't really come off really that hot at all.
Interesting.
That's only 16% of the blend. So, really cool components. Unfortunately, I think as it's sad, it just came off really traditional. So,
yeah, I mean, it just tastes like a great extra aged bourbon.
All right, letter C, we said was a 4-square rum bomb. Letter C belongs to Mr. Saucy Shane. Ah, Saucy. Saucy. Where is he? Mr. Saucy Shane. Let's see what we got here.
Man, I'm smelling this one. It's like breakfast now. It's like all the breakfast brunch. It's
Wait,
like
which one? Letter E?
letter C. It's like
letter C. Yeah.
It's like sniffing through like a Frisch's breakfast bar.
Oh my God. It tastes like that. What was that? Wasn't there like a maple, what was the name of that cereal? It was like a French toast cereal with like maple syrup on it. It was like little pieces of bread, but it has like maple syrup infused in it. That's what it smells like, that cereal.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about with the Frisch's buffet line. I'm talking about like the French toast. Like it's been sitting there on that pot with the water that's like boiling it for a little bit, but it smells so good. You want to eat it?
All right, so we have in this blend from Saucy Shane, which is called a drunken mistake. This is Southern Collective 15-year light whiskey, 134 proof. Nashville Barrel Company 7-year rum, 136 proof.
All right, that makes sense.
He's got Wild Turkey Rare Breed in there. He also has Jack Daniel's Coy Hill in there, 10% of the blend. And then he's got the 21090 Still Austin, Pour Some Austin on Me, 116 proof in the blend.
Holy
you know what,
crap.
Saucy Shane? I hate to tell you, but that's what killed it for you. It was the Still Austin pick from 21090. I'm just fucking with you.
Did he give you proportions?
French Toast Crunch, was that it? Yeah, but I have proportions here. So he's got 30% of it is the Southern Collective, 20% is the Nashville Rum, 30% is Rare Breed, and then 10 and 10 of Jack Daniels and Still Austin.
I mean,
21090. I heard that.
that rum is only 20% of it, and it literally
takes over.
It duked everybody out. Like there was an octagon inside this glass, and that rum won that fight.
You had a big ass Jamaican rum dude come in and beat everyone's ass in that blend. That's what happened. That's what happens with blends, though, dude. People think it's easy. Let me throw some rum in there. What do you got, man?
What are you looking at?
What do you mean?
What's in your hand?
The key.
For who?
For the rest of the glasses.
We don't get to see D, E, and F though.
No,
right?
we don't. But we can at least find out who made it through.
Find out who made it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure. I was like, we got 3 glasses. I didn't know if you were like putting it down to 2.
So D, which we think has the Irish whiskey in it, was the Paganucci's Forget About It whiskey from Hugo Gonzalez. Okay. So congrats to Hugo. You move on. E was Walk This Way from Run DMC Kentucky. E was the one we absolutely loved, which is a killer blend. And then F, which we're going to kind of keep it through. We'll throw that in next week's. Is called Captain Walton, and that's from Darren Clary. And that's actually a really good blend too. So we're going to hold on. We're going to hold on to those 3 blends until next week. We'll see how they do. Actually in 2 weeks, but we're going to throw Darren's in next week and see. So we'll do 7 blends next week and see how that goes through. But we are definitely putting through here letter E and letter D. So congrats to those guys. Mr. Prescription Bourbon did a hell of a job on that blend. I can't wait to know what's in it. But congrats to everybody making it through. Next week, we'll be here same time. We have a hell of a bracket next week. Eric Sawyer, Smoky Joe. Here's the bracket again, guys. I'll show you real quick. Yep, there it is. Eric Sawyer, Smoky Joe, Henry Turner, Josh Maxwell, Mr. Oisin Hayes, and Danny Lopez. Holy shit, it's gonna be a week. So I will move forward here. Mr. Run DMC and also Hugo Gonzalez. We'll move on to the top two. Darren Clary, I'll add you to week 3, and we'll still pick a top 2 from there, and then we'll go into the finals. So there you go. Congrats, guys.
All right, Jason. So, is the 13th colony for an encore?
It's an encore. I'm going to finish up the night with it. I have 1 glass left for it, and here it is. Have you had it yet?
I'll do it with you.
You have it, don't you?
Yep, I got it with you. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I got to use it.
I'm just pouring. I'm not pouring all of it out yet. I'm just pouring a little bit here because holy crap! Look how dark that is.
Oh, it's so good, man.
That's the 13th colony.
You know, I had it on the table in Frankfurt, and people didn't do as much damage on it as I thought they would. But I can't tell in this bottle, though. You know, it's like you drink out of it. It never ends until it actually does.
So 2023 limited release double oak 13 colony, 136.8 proof. Everybody, 3,216 bottles were released. Georgia, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Texas. Damn.
Oh, darn it. Crap.
What happened?
Well, that didn't work at all.
What happened? You broke the cork?
I broke it.
Dude, this is the second. What's happening tonight? I broke the Larceny cork, and now you broke that one? What is happening?
It's all right. I got strong thumbs.
All right, guys.
I'll make it work.
Let's dive into this 13 colony. This is sweeter than I remember from last year's 13 colony double oaked.
It came across fruitier and sweeter to me, which is interesting for having technically more
an extra
age
year
on it,
right?
Yeah.
So last year was like smoky and bacon and meaty and dense and dark. This is a little bit brighter and fruitier. Darren Clary, Jason, are there 2 more rounds or 1? So there's 2. So we'll have next week, and then the finals and then the finals will be the second week. So 2 weeks, and then we start the big one, guys. The big kahuna. The American whiskey blends are coming. I cannot wait to taste through these. It was a little bit more restrictive this year, but we'll see what people did. Oh man, yeah, this is way brighter and sweeter than I thought it would be.
Is this your first? Is it your first of it, or have you gone down?
No. I have a full bottle of batch 1.
Okay, we're about the same spot.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're on batch 1 or?
No, this is batch 1. I only have a sample of batch 2.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Oh, holy crap. Jesus. Wow. That is a master class of flavor explosion. JG, Jason, you live? Yes, I'll be live next Wednesday. All good, man. I'll be pretty much live, I think, here every Wednesday for the rest of the year, I think, for the most part, because I have to get Blendageddon done. I may take 1 break in between, but other than that, we'll be Blendagedding it for the rest of the year. Mr. Mushnick, do you recommend any 13 colony? Yeah, the Southern Bourbon, the Southern Rye, they're all really good pours. Yep.
Have you had the Bourbon non-double oaked?
Yes. Yeah, I did a full review on it. I think they're great.
Okay.
Yep. Wow, this might be even more approachable than last year's was, which is scary. given the high proof of it. I don't I don't understand how that's happening. That's crazy.
So there's a theme for 2023 that sticks out to me, Jason. I'm curious on your perspective of it when I throw it up here for you.
Okay.
I think I've had the best double oaked or toasted bourbons thus far in 2023. When I go through Kelvin 60, the 4-gate CBO bottle, this one had some great. All the things that Barrel King is doing with their double oaks.
Yep.
This seems to be the year of double oak when I look back on it.
Yeah, I can. So for me, it was like the year of age statements. That's where I went. But I could see you making a case for the year of double oaks for sure. So okay, so here's another question. Do you couple double oak with also finished bourbons?
No.
Or are you separating like a sherry finish and a port finish from a toasted cask and a new charred cask?
Definitely doing that. So
okay.
I think the distinction between double oak and toasted can get blurred, but not the wine cask, but more new oak charred, heavy charred, or versus new oak toasted. But I have been a detractor of most bourbons that are toasted or double oaked the last couple years, but this year there's like 2 or 3 of them in my top 10.
I'm still kind of like meh with toasted. I love double oaked more than toasted. I'd rather do a double oaked over toasted any day of the week. The Whiskey Reaper. How about them Ohio State Buckeyes, the Mash and Drum? I think they're losing this weekend to Penn State, to be honest. But we'll see. I think Penn State's going to beat them. Yeah. So this still has a little bit of the meatiness, but I actually can't believe how easy this is drinking for 130 something proof. And then on top of that, it's sweeter than last year's.
It's sweeter and fruitier.
Yeah. I totally agree, dude. Now, I still don't think that 13th Colony Double Oaked is for everyone. It punches really high. It's oaky, it's dense, it's dark. It could be a little bit drying on the palate. You know, I've given this to some people and they're like, oh, what the hell is that? I can't even stomach it. And, you know, obviously those are folks that are probably not as, exploratory in trying different whiskeys. However, for the folks that are, this 13th Colony Double Oaked has become kind of like a cult classic all of a sudden, really, really fast.
So what'd they go up to? I think it was 150 to 200 was the price jump this year to last year.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, look at the market. It doesn't surprise me, especially with the demand of it. I mean, they might as well make more on the front end before it gets to secondary prices. You know what I mean? If they know that people are going to pay the prices for it just based on what we saw last year on the secondary, that's really what guides it. I mean, you guys got to think about it.
Well, it's literally economics.
Literally economics. Like if I'm 13 Colony and I'm seeing people are spending $450 for it on secondary, why not up the price and make more money on it? You only have about 3,000 something bottles of it. You're going to want to make the most you can because it's just going to feed into whatever next projects you have coming out. So that's how it goes, unfortunately. But, for the consumer, yeah, it sucks. But what bourbon these days isn't $150 to now $450 to $500 now? Bourbon went from a blue collar type whiskey to a luxury item, to an item that, and listen, there's still great bourbons for really cheap out there, obviously. But these ones that get talked about, the ones that, come out in the fall time, the BTACs of the world, the Four Roses, the 13 Colony Double Oaks, if you want to get your hands on one, you're going to have to pay for it, unfortunately. That's just the way it goes. Bill Mill says, hey, Jason, want to get your thoughts on the Tush Push, the Eagles do on the NFL may ban it, and the hip tackle. So yeah, the tush push. I hate the name of that. I do like the brotherly shove a lot better. So the thing I don't like about the Eagles play is that the way the O-line sets up seems to be a little bit unfair compared to what the defensive lines can do. So if they modify that part of it, I might be a little bit more okay with it. However, it would be interesting if there was a team that could kind of figure it out and stop it, but we just haven't seen it yet. But yeah, it is pretty hilarious when you think about it. They just line up and push them right into the end zone. It's crazy. But yeah, it's basically rugby, JG. That's what it is. It's rugby. Man. So yeah, 13 Colony Double Oak 2023. I'm not gonna say it's better than last year, because I think some people really like the meaty and smoky part of it that was last year's, but this might be even more approachable than last year's was for more drinkers.
So, putting it in a different context, you drank the sample of King of Kentucky earlier.
Yeah.
Does this compare?
Yes, it does.
To that sample?
I would. Well, I think it can in the context of like a flavor punch. However, when you're talking about elegance, the King of Kentucky has more layers going on. I think there's more nuance to it. It's not as in your face as this is. However, this is a punch you in the face, absolute flavor bomb. And I think the oak is less traditional than the oak that you find in Kentucky. That's really where the difference is. So whatever's going on in Americus, Georgia, I think is the big outlier and the big difference between this and King of Kentucky. But either way, they're both really good. But you could tell the King of Kentucky has some really well-aged, just beautiful, well-aged oak and sweetness to it, and it's more of a traditional flavor profile. The 13 Colony is just different. It's in a class of its own. Like normally when I do reviews of stuff, I try to think of alternatives. I can't think of an alternative for that. There's nothing like that on maybe Jack Daniel's Coy Hill, maybe. But there's no alternative to that whiskey. There's just not.
I mean, honestly, the Kelvin 60 is about the only. If I think about the double oak profile, barrel proof, it doesn't. That's about the only thing I could put up to it. I think this one would.
Kelvin 60 is really good, but I still don't think it has the flavor punch that 13 Colony does. The 13 Colony is just insane. I don't know, man. That is a crazy ass whiskey.
How old is the actual whiskey?
The 13 Colony?
Yeah.
10 years old.
It's 10 year? Okay.
Yep. Now I do think that they finish it. I think part of that 10 years is a full year of finishing, I think. Wise Guy Stu says, Jason, don't call on Jeff for you to talk it out. That ECBB hit you so hard you ended up on the floor. Call it falling out. What? You should worship the ground I walk on. I might be out, but my blend tasted better than 90% of the whiskeys you talk on. Not bananas. Wise Guy Stu. It was a good blend, dude, but it just turned to peaches. Sorry, man. Your blend went peachy. Too peachy. 13. Kings County. That could be a good.
Okay.
Alternative.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Depends on the King County, but
it depends. But you'll get the same type of punch you in the face type flavor for sure.
That Irene pick, I agree. I agree on that one, Ben, with the Irene pick. That would be the one that comes to mind
for sure. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. I have a trip tomorrow, so I can't wait to do that. But can't wait for you guys to tune in next week as we do round 3. Congrats to everybody that moved on tonight. We'll see what happens as we go forward. Have another special guest judge all lined up for tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, for next week on Wednesday night. And really want to thank Jeff for hanging out with us and help judging these really, really good blends. We came across a couple of really standout superstars, I think. So, yeah. With that, thanks for all the support tonight, guys. Thanks for the super chats. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share it with. And in tonight's case, it's the people you blend it with. So cheers. See you next time right here in the Master and Drum. Cheers, guys. I'm holding up